All right, so I've got another weight update, not the specific weight exactly, but just an idea of how far I am away from reaching a goal that I've been trying to get to. So I am currently 23 pounds away from the weight that I was before I got pregnant with baby number 7. And if you'll look back at my videos, I'll insert a clip right here. This is how I looked when I was at this weight that I'm trying to get to currently. So in 23 more pounds, I'm going to look this fit, and I'm going to be so happy that I put in the work, and I really chose to really get to learn everything that I've been doing wrong for so long when it comes to my workouts, when it comes to how I'm eating, when it comes to my water intake, when it comes to whether or not I'm working out too much or too little, when it comes to whether or not I'm doing enough cardio. I'm really learning a lot along this journey this time, especially since I've hit 40. And with 40 comes a world of change when it comes to a woman's body. I can't speak for men, but as for me, being a 41-year-old woman, I have experienced some tremendous changes over the past couple of years since I've hit my 40s. And I will have to say that it's been quite different, and it's definitely something that any of you women out there who are in your 30s and you're almost 40, believe me, you're going to go through some changes once you hit 40, but I'm here to tell you, you can get through it. You know, things are going to change. Just keep up with your health, keep up with your fitness, keep up with your way of eating properly, and I think you'll be okay. Now, where I kind of went off with my fitness journey is, of course, I quit exercising after baby number 7 was 4 months old. But another area that I kind of went off at was I was over exercising, and I also wasn't eating too well. And on top of that, I think the major one is that I was just consuming too much salt with my meals. I said in my last video, my what I eat in a week video, that I am very heavy-handed when it comes to flavoring my food. I love to use different herbs, but most of all, I know I put way too much salt in my food. There's been many times where I'm like, okay, the flavor's not bursting. Let me add some more salt. I think I can use a little more salt, and that has really affected my blood pressure. And I know in regards to that area of my fitness journey. Now, albeit I've been at this for the past year and 4 months, but nevertheless, I believe that the more you do something, the more you're going to learn about it, the more you're going to get better at it. And that's my ultimate goal, not to go backwards, to always go forward and to learn and understand what is beneficial to me, my body, my fitness journey, so that I too can pass this information along to my children. Because as you all know, I have 6 daughters and 1 son. But nevertheless, I think there is something to be said about the fact that, we are what we eat. We are whatever we do to ourselves, whatever we put into our bodies, that is what will show on the outside. So yes, gaining 30 pounds after I stopped exercising, it was just a representation of how I had quit my fitness journey, a representation of how I kind of, in all honesty, just really gave up on myself. And, that is my story. That has been my journey thus far. I've been making these videos since 2019. Thank you so much to anyone who's been here since 2019 and beyond, and any new people who should join, my fitness journey, because this is not just a journey that I'm doing for the next 6 months. This is a lifelong journey, and there's so many more things that I have to learn and acquire to really make even more progress than what I made on my current fitness journey. I'm so much looking forward to healing my body, to getting my body in shape, to getting my weight under control, to getting my blood pressure under control, to getting my blood sugar under control, and that's pretty much under control. I just have to stay away from sweets. And my major thing is I love savory foods and salt. That's my major issue. But now that I'm on board with, I have a fitness plan, I have a meal plan, I think that I finally got those two things on the same playing field, And I think that I'm finally going to see the rest of this weight start to fade off of my body and get myself into a healthy weight range, because where I am right now, it's not a very healthy weight range for my age, my height. It's just not very healthy. And when you're overweight, let's just say it how it is, okay? When you're overweight, meaning you're weighing more than your body frame is supposed to weigh, it puts stress on your internal, organs. And sometimes things begin to misfire. Sometimes things begin to not, the numbers don't, continue to show up the way that they should show up. And so I find myself in a position where I'm having to self-correct the damage that I've done. But nevertheless, I'm in for the challenge. I did this. And I think that when we can admit, hey, I did this to myself, I know that I did this to myself, but I want to make a change. That's when we can begin to seek out more information, more knowledge. That's when we can begin to receive information that others may have, so that we can improve in our journey, in our fitness journey, in our health, in our weight loss goals. We can begin to improve in every area possible, so that everything begins to work together for the greater good, right? And let me tell you, being in my 40s, I realized that it's so much harder to lose weight and get in shape in my 40s than it was in my 30s and my 20s and my teenage years. So I really want to reiterate that amongst my audience. If you are about to be 40, you're in your 30s, you're in your 50s, 60s, or whatever, you may be in. I think that we all can take a look back, being 40 and beyond, that when we hit our 40s, that's when we probably had our issues began. Okay. So anyone younger than 40, let me tell you and say it again, you please keep yourselves in shape. Please take your health seriously, because when you get 40 and you've got some hiccups along the way, it's going to be a lot harder to fix those issues than it was previously. I just want to be in complete health. I want to be in complete oneness with myself, to the point where I know that I'm in shape. I know that I'm at a healthy weight. I want to know that. And I'm tired of, feeling like I'm doing everything wrong, right? Because sometimes when you're doing everything right and nothing's, happening, you're going to feel like you're doing everything wrong. But at the end of the day, if nothing's changing, that means you have to figure out another method to get things to change. Could be that, you're eating too much, you're not exercising enough, or you may be exercising too much. You may be eating too much salt, you may be eating too much sugar, you may be eating too many carbs, too many I don't know if you can eat too many proteins, but I don't know, too much fat, whatever. Bottom line is, going back to basics is what is helping me with my blood pressure, with my weight, everything. When I've gone back to weighing myself every morning, because I feel like when I weigh myself every morning, it kind of gives me an understanding of whether or not I performed at a good level the day before. Because if I do everything right the day before, then the good habits I had the previous day tend to show up for me on the scale the very next day. I don't know if that works for you all, but it does for me. So say I overeat the previous day, then I'm probably going to gain about 1 or 2 pounds by the next day. But if I do everything right the previous day, then I know that when I get on the scale the next day, then my weight tends to go down and down and down. And, there's absolutely nothing like making progress when you know you're doing everything right. So I kind of wanted to sway away from weighing myself every single day. But when I went to weighing myself once a week, that's when I tend to make more mistakes along the way. So daily weigh-ins for me are like a daily reminder to myself, hey, choose the right foods, drink enough, water, or lemon water or vinegar water throughout the day. Make sure I'm not overeating. Make sure I'm not over consuming products that have too much salt in them. Make sure that I'm not eating flour. Flour is an enemy for me. Now, I will tell you, I cut out flour about 3 weeks ago, and then I started adding it back in, bit by bit. And that's when my weight began to creep back up. So I don't know what it is, but flour is an enemy of mine. So I've definitely taken flour products out of my rotation, out of my diet, and I stick to corn, like corn tortillas and tortilla chips, things of that nature. And if it has flour in it, I don't eat it. I don't even eat rice, to be honest with you. I cut that out as well. So I'm kind of swaying more towards quinoa and what else? Whole wheat bread. Those are my two carbs that I'm eating currently. So quinoa, oh, it's 3. Quinoa is 4. I'm trying to get it right. There are 4 different, carbs that I'm currently eating, not to mention, vegetables and fruits. So the 4 things that I'm currently eating for carbohydrates are whole wheat bread, tortilla chips, corn tortillas, and quinoa. Now, quinoa, being that I can't really season it with salt, it's pretty much a flavorless food for me right now. Even putting the herbs seasoning in it, it tends not to be very flavorful. So I'm going to have to figure out how to spice up the quinoa. Even though I put, sauteed veggies in it, it still didn't have very much flavor. So I would say that that's probably my least favorite of everything right now. I'm not even sure if I'm going to try and cook it again. So I'm definitely going to look up some quinoa flavorful recipes without lots of sodium. Because when I used to make quinoa, I would add pasta sauce into it. But pasta sauce for me is a no-go because it has lots of sodium in it. And I'm trying to stick to what's naturally, flavorful and not allow for little things to creep back into my diet, because allowing those little things to creep back into my diet, that's when I tend to see my progress slow down. That's when I tend to see my motivation slow down. So I'm trying to, stay on board with making the right choices and the right decisions, because they definitely do matter in the long run. So I'm just trying to get my health in order. I'm trying to do what I need to do so that I can stop going backwards. Not to say that, I've fallen off or anything, but the progress that I've been making is kind of stalled. It's like just stalled in one place. It's like, and I know the one thing that's really getting me, are my eating habits. And that's been a big issue for me for a very long time. So still doing the exercising, still doing the cardio, still doing the weightlifting. But my main focus right now is to really be truthfully honest with my eating habits, because that is what is really holding me back. And that is what's really setting me on a path of just being in a stalled place right now. And when you hit a plateau, that is not very fun in your fitness journey. It kind of makes you think that, okay, what's wrong now? I was making so much progress. Now the scale won't move. Nothing's moving. I still look, like I've made progress, but I can't see the progress on the scale any longer. It's like, what's going on here? So definitely, sometimes you got to take a step back and tweak things so that you can continue to see sometimes you have to take a step back and tweak things so that you can continue to see the gains that you've been seeing. I'm kindly Kimberly. Remember that everybody is beautiful, but you also have to remember that health is wealth, and wealth takes care of everything else. I want y'all to take care, stay motivated, stay true to yourself, be honest with yourself. You can get through this. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.